Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight is, and what a beautiful breezy day out here today. It is so beautiful, and I really love this park because there's sun and shade, throughout the whole day out here. So I really hope that you're getting out in nature and also spending time if you have loved ones, if you have loved ones that are there where you are, that are loving and supporting you, like your children, they're growing, so you got to be there for your children, of course, when they're living in the house. And how about your husband or wife or girlfriend, boyfriend, your mom, dad, are they there supporting you then, or have they been there, throughout your life, really being there for you? Those are the ones that you want to spend your energy with, your time with. And anyway, welcome to my YouTube channel. And if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome. And you could find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. You could give this video a thumbs up, and you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, don't be afraid, don't be shy. Swing by and say hi to Starlight. And you can leave me a message down below, beep, beep, beep. And you could share my videos with your family, your friends. Also, don't forget, you could check out my playlist. Plus, you could find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So anyway, this video is really important. This is for moms and dads, or grandpas and grandmas. Yeah. If you're a parent or a single parent, maybe you're a single mom, maybe you're a single dad, maybe you're a couple that are bringing up your children. So this video is for parents or even grandparents. Maybe you're grandpa or grandma, and maybe you spend a lot of time, I've seen, a lot of grandparents helping out and taking care of their grandkids. I don't know what kind of grandparents are they, but if they're good parents, good grandparents, hopefully they were good parents to their children, and that's why the children decided, hey, mom, dad, could you help me bring up my kids? And there's a lot of things like that going on where, sometimes the children are struggling to bring up their kids. So there's a lot of kids that do that, even though they're adults, is that they rely on their parents. And the parents, a lot of times, grandpa and grandma, are excited to start all over and babysit the grandkids. Not always. Not. So anyway, this video is for those of you that are either parents or grandparents. Are you preparing your kids for the real world? Not what the school is teaching, not what the church, but what about you as parents or as grandparents? Because grandpa, grandma, you could step in on this, the things, the wisdom that you've learned. And it's so important and wise, when you have kids, is get them ready for the real world. And what do I mean by that? I mean by being real. That means you got to take the mask off first and be real, as authentic as you possibly can, with yourself first and with your children. It is so vital, important to be real with your kids. If I love my kids, I love my grandkids. I'm in a situation here where God is using me. So, I love my kids. And when I loved being a mom, I loved every bit of it, the good times, the bad times, all of it. Starlight loved it. So I learned a lot through my kids. And don't we all learn a lot from our kids, when they're having fits? And God, if you have kids, count yourself blessed. They are a blessing from God. They are a gift from God. God gave you those children, not by accident. God knows exactly what God is doing, and God will bless you with children, and those children are going to be teachers to you. They're going to teach you so many things. You know, what, Starlight? They're only like mine. My kids are like 3 years old. How is my 3-year-old going to teach me anything? You know, I'm always teaching my child. Don't they teach you patience? Yeah, kids will teach parents patience. So, and my thing is, if you don't have patience, really, you might not want to have children, because it takes a lot. Oh, did I say a lot? A lot. Did I say a lot? A lot of patience. It takes a lot of patience to have kids, bringing them up in this world. And so on this video, I want to help parents out there is to be real. And I love this every stage of my kids when they were growing up. You know, I brought my son up the whole time with him. And with my daughter, I had her all the way up until around 12 years old, you know, from birth all the way up until 12. So that time was very precious for me with my kids, is to put as much as I could. Now, I was a totally different person way back then, and that's why now I didn't know what I know now. So that is why I'm helping you out here, is because the things I didn't know, because I didn't, you know, I had to learn those lessons in order for me to teach my kids those lessons. So this is why it's so important that you get them ready for the real world. And I'm making this video is because it there was just an ice cream truck that just came through, and this is why I ended up making this video. Is Starlight is against the public school. You know, when I was a kid myself, you know, growing up, what a nightmare. It was a nightmare. You know, at a certain age and all the way up, you know, I think about like maybe 6th grade and up, it was a nightmare. You know, 6th grade and younger, but, you know, was different. But man, sixth grade and up was horrible. And so with public school, and just like hearing this ice cream truck come out here, it kind of triggered some things about like public school, what they do with children. And, you know, if you have another way of educating your kids, please, homeschooling would be the #1 best way of educating your kids. The public school is the least, you know, that is where the government, you know, created the school, you know, and it's a program. They're programming your children when they enter in, you know, and when your kids are born all the way up until 7 years old, that's when they're the smartest. And that's where a lot of programming goes in, you know, and they want to keep your children in there all the way up until they graduate, whether they need all that information in high school or not. So, so anyway, with this video is in school, and just like hearing that ice cream truck, you know, you got to get your kids ready for the real world. What kind of parent are you? Is like, my kids grew up with an ice cream truck that would go on our street. Now, I see a lot of stuff, and I'm not saying this is always the case, but there's a lot of times with an ice cream truck when it goes on somebody's street, or even like at this park, you know, it reminds me of when I went to school, is when they have a show and tell, you know, the same kind of thing. Is some parents, they really just want to treat their kids and buy them an ice cream. And then what happens when you got an ice cream truck that comes in, and you know, whoever's got the cash, you know, to hand to the ice cream truck, you know, the ice cream person, you know, whoever that is they got money, and they're gonna, you know, whatever the price of the ice cream is, they're gonna like, hey, you know, I want to, you know, buy this for my kids, you know, for a treat or whatever, maybe on good behavior, you know, they're rewarding them for good behavior, whatever. For whatever reason, the parents decide to buy their kids some kind of ice cream or something in the ice cream truck. So I don't know all the things that they sell in an ice cream truck, because Starlight does not buy ice cream at the ice cream truck. But Now, what kind of parent are you? Say if you're on the street, outside on a summer day, or even at a park on a beautiful day like this. Now, when the ice cream truck comes, maybe every time on your street, are you that parent that when you see other kids getting ice cream, that you feel pressured that you have to go and get ice cream too? You don't want your kids feeling left out because you don't want them feel, oh my, because kids, they can put away, put a guilt trip on parents, don't they? It's like, seeing all the other kids, getting this ice cream. And as I was walking on this, I could have I'm going to put a picture on here, but as I was walking by, the ice cream truck, I seen, a family and, kids walking by and they're licking the ice cream, licking the ice cream, and so this stuff is kind of funny that I say this, but, by that visual there of somebody just licking an ice cream cone, Starlight's not going to do that very much here. So, so Starlight's got an ice cream, and I'm like, yeah, this is so yummy, yum, yum, I'm just going to lick this ice cream, and so then other kids, they see this child or even an adult, it's like a tease. It's like, look at what I got, and I'm just saying this goes deep with this stuff. And so other kids be like, I want ice cream too, Mom and Dad. I can we have ice cream too? Because all the other kids are, I need to have ice cream right now. Like they have this thing that's going on, some kind of anxiety, like feeling like they don't have, And so what kind of parent are you? Are you that parent that says, oh, I gotta get them an ice cream, because this child just got their ice cream at, at the park or on your street, and those, I'm not crazy about the ice cream truck, coming around. I really, really don't like the ice cream truck coming around in neighborhoods because I see that it does stir up a lot of stuff, and a lot of people might not be aware of what's going on, with the ice cream truck. And that goes with anywhere, how about at a fair? You go at a fair, and they're selling different things and you're buying stuff, and now your child, why do you think they do this stuff? They're not stupid. I went to a park, at a different park, and there was a lady that comes on the weekends, and it adds a lot of pressure, and the kids, they're like, oh, they see other kids going out and getting the free, not free, but the balloons that they bought, or maybe those bouncy things that you sit on. Starlight had one of those. Woo! So anyway, are you the kind of parent that because your kids see all the other kids that you want to go and buy them one, an ice cream or a balloon, or, because other kids are getting it? Or are you that adult that is at a park and you see other people going to the ice cream truck and they're buying stuff, and somebody walks by and they're eating ice cream and licking it, and you're like, oh, I gotta go get that, like you gotta go and get what everybody else has, where it's really wise, like to tell yourself that, like if you always have to have because somebody else has it, those are things that you want to teach your kids. They got to understand. Believe me, my kids went through this. It was a rare case if Starlight gave my kids money on the ice, on our street for ice cream. We could go to the grocery store and get a whole box, and put it in our refrigerator and save on money by having it in our freezer, not our refrigerator. That wouldn't be a mess. Ice cream messes, yeah. Starlight knows about those. So Starlight's, I'm always about saving money, So Starlight's that chick, like, what? I'm gonna go to the store, buy the ice cream, put it in my freezer. That way, my kids can have ice cream when I say they can. when I give them permission that they can have ice cream, So, are you that parent that always got to do what other people are doing, following what other people, treating your kids out because, these other people, their kids are getting stuff? It is really not wise to do that because the real world, when they get on their own, you got to discipline yourself, number one, if you're that parent that always has to get something everywhere you go, and I see this a lot, where parents go into a store. Why do you think they put all the candy right where the kids can see it? And like in certain stores, I know in certain Walmarts, you can't get through the cash out area unless there's candy all the way on every single register at the store. There's candy all over, because they know little kids are gonna come and they're gonna like, Mom, I'm like gonna have a panic attack if I don't get that candy bar, So what kind of parent are you? Are you the parent that no matter, and I have grown up like this is, I do have family members that every time they went to a secondhand store or a store or a yard sale, garage sale, they felt like they always had to buy something everywhere they went, whether they needed that or not. Like it was like they felt guilty if I go to this yard sale, even though I don't find anything I want, I'll just buy that anyway, and I walk out and then I feel better about myself. These are things that you want to teach your kids that, discipline, they got to be disciplined, have a disciplined attitude, like saying, not a discipline, they have to control. You got to teach them, you got to teach yourself to discipline yourself enough, not discipline as beating your child with anything like that, but you have to say, no, I don't need that ice cream, and no, my kids don't need it because every single kid on the street is getting that ice cream. No. Just like cell phones. All the kids in school are having a cell phone. Guess what? You're not them. Kids need to know this. Parents, you got to be that example, though. Do you always go out and buy the new next thing? And, because you're actually teaching your children something. If they see that every time something new comes out in the store and you got to go get it, what do you think you're teaching your kids? You got to teach your kids, you got to be disciplined enough and say, you know what? I know even though I'm buying something new, it's old. That's an old thing. They got so many cell phones somewhere, they haven't even put them out yet. So the cell phone that you're getting right now, they put it out and advertise it, the new, another, this kind of phone has this. They got so many other phones that are just sitting around, and they probably already have different like 6G, 7G phones, you don't even know about. I don't even know nothing about technology. But you really got to be wise on how you're bringing your kids up and what are you teaching them. Are you teaching them self-discipline is the word that I wanted to use, is self-discipline. You need to teach them to self-discipline themselves, that just because you go in the store, you could go, how many times Starlight walks in a store, walks in there, I'm a quick shopper, man. I don't see any, I'm out. Starlight doesn't mess around. So the quicker you're in and out of these stores, that is a good way of self-disciplining yourself so you're not tempted to buy something just because it's bright and colorful, and a lot of times there's so many things in the store, they're dust collectors, things that you would, put on your stand, when company comes and, ooh, look at that, and after a while, you know what? It's not so awesome anymore, right? After a while, they already seen it, there goes that, now you got to buy another thing to replace that one, and oh, yep, they like that, and now you got to buy another thing and put it in your house, to have it on a display for company coming in, So I've been in and out of many houses because I had my client. I don't even know how many houses have I been in and out of, having my business from 2012 all the way up until 2023. How many houses do you think I have been in and out of? And so I've seen a lot of stuff in people's houses. And Starlight, her apartment was arts and crafts. I mean, like, it was artwork. I was proud of all my stuff. Most of the stuff I didn't, I bought all that stuff, but I bought all the arts and crafts to make beautiful artwork. That is something different. I was displaying my artwork. And who came in my apartment? Really nobody, except for my family and a few other people, so don't get caught up in the world of got to get that new phone, got to get that new, that laptop or that new camera. Now if you are a person that really uses a camera, and it is a good deal, if they got a good deal, because really the stuff that they're putting out is so old, you're not getting really the best like you're thinking. And you can teach your kids on, self-disciplining themselves and teach them at a young age, and it's a nightmare, isn't it? I can hear my daughter screaming when she was little, Starlight went in the store, and I didn't have any money at that day. We were like window shopping, and we were going to go the next day or a couple of days later to go in there and actually buy. But, out of boredom at that time when I was younger is we went in, walked around, and she was so young, and they go through this stage, where there's a little farm toy. Wow, did my daughter want that thing. She thought, she didn't understand. She was going through the, things that all these kids go through is the stages of like, I want the little farm, it's got the cows and the pigs and the chickens, and you push these buttons, and, who didn't grow up with one of those toys? I didn't, I don't know. So, it's a great toy, because it teaches about the animals, and a farm and all that, and they all, different buttons that do different things. And I'll tell you what, my daughter totally lost her cool. She was only, let's see, trying to think, like maybe 4 or 5 years old, because her little brother was a little, he was a little tot, he was just a little baby. And wow, that is the first time that ever happened. And I'll tell you what, I think my son learned from her lesson the way mom responded to this whole thing of freaking out in the store, where everybody's like, where's that child? Have you ever been there yourself, where your kid's freaking out in the middle of the store and everybody's like, they're looking at your child and looking at you and seeing how you're going to handle this? Well, did she get the farm? Absolutely not. I didn't have any money that day. And yes, kicking and screaming all the way out, But I'll tell you what, that was the last time she did it. And my son never did that. So I think, when we got home, I had a serious talk with her. I didn't ever beat her or anything. I didn't need to, but I had a serious talk with her. And like, don't you ever do that again. I was like, wow, I've witnessed that with other family members, not family members, but other families that have kids that are in the store. I'm like, you don't ever, I had a talk with her. That's all I did. She never did that again. So she learned her lesson. And you have to teach your children is that just because all these other kids have a cell phone, you're not getting one. Don't cave in to your children, because what are you teaching them later on? They need to learn that you don't have to have what all the other kids have. Those cell phones, they're not good for your children to be having at such a young age. I was at a McDonald's not too long ago because I go there to study and do my stuff. Like a 5-year-old, she was glued to that cell phone. Those cell phones are not good for any of us. It throws off this I can't remember, electronic, like signals out in the air, and it's bad for our health, and here you got little kids like just glued to that. And this is what you're going to see this all over eventually, is that all these little kids are going to, and this is exactly what they want, and it's up to the parents to be wise on the age of when they should have their kids have cell phones. Did I have a cell phone when I was a kid? Absolutely not. I survived because in the olden days, and I'm not that old at all, is that if there was a problem at school, the school would call my parents up on a house phone. And then if my parents needed to call the school, my parents would call the school on a house phone. I didn't need a cell phone. I never even had a cell phone until after, like around 2000 and, I don't know, it was bad, 2009 maybe, or even later, because I got out of the church, a cult church in 2007. That was when I first actually had a laptop, or desktop. Actually, it was a desktop. I didn't even have a laptop. So your kids don't need everything that all the other kids, now they need to get the same sneakers that their buddy has. How much did those sneakers cost? From what family? Oh, it's the rich family down the street. They can afford to buy these expensive sneakers, and that's all you hear your child. Oh, I want those sneakers. What do you want for your birthday? So you gotta teach your kids the real world. And this is just one topic here about things like this, is about material stuff, is that they need to learn. You know what? They want that stuff when they get older. Put them to work. You want that? You're going to work for it. I'm not going to hand you, that's how this real world is. Put them to work. Oh, they don't want to do the yard work. They don't, what? Don't pay them to, to clean their bedrooms. They shouldn't get paid to clean their own rooms, right? How about the yard work? How about the house? There's chores, and all this stuff. But they need to learn responsibilities. They need to learn and understand that money, there's a money tree out there somewhere. But in reality, that, you can't just assume that, hey, I want something, I'm just going to always get what I want every single time I want something. No, they need to learn to be responsible as a young child. And like, you really want that? Make them work for it. A lot of kids, they don't want to work in the house. They don't want to even do chores. They don't want to clean their room. So you've got to be that strong parent and says, you know what? You're not getting everything. Just because you want a laptop, a computer, a tablet, whatever else they have, electronical, they don't need that stuff until they're, if you have like technology for your kids, like as far when they get older, that computer should not be in the room. Absolutely not. It should be in the living room space where they have a private, quiet spot, where everybody can see everything going on. Computers for the kids should not be in the rooms. Absolutely not. Mom and dad should have a password on there that they cannot hack into, because those kids get really super smart. And, and you got to be careful because they will go to a library. I see this all the time. Kids will go to the libraries and you'll think that they're in the library studying, but what are they doing in there? So you got to really protect your kids and be there and get them ready for the real world. Things just don't get handed to you, without, you got to work for it. There's times that we do get, like our relatives might give us something, or, might have a birthday where somebody buys you something. But if your rule at the house is no cell phones, no computers, then let your relatives know, because that is what happened to my grandson, is that, he didn't have a cell phone, but somebody outside of the family bought him a cell phone. So be strong and be, if you don't want a cell phone for your kids, if a relative buys a phone, say, you know what, we can't accept that. You're going to have, if you want to get my son or my daughter something, we do not allow that for my child because they're too young. And, you need to teach them responsibilities when it comes to that. And when they get older, like when they're ready to go get a job, when they're when they're getting a car, that would be a great time for me personally. Say, okay, you know what? You want to go get a job. You want to get a car and all this stuff. Okay. Now, that would be a great time, but then there should be rules on that cell phone, And, you know, you could set that up as a parent, or if you don't know how to set it up, you can find somebody to set that phone up, so that way you protect your kids from horrible things that could happen through those cell phones. And it doesn't matter if it's a boy or a girl. I'm serious. There's all kinds of sites out there, and the kids, when they go to school, those kids talk. They talk. There's some kids that go to school, their parents are not keeping an eye on them. They have a computer and they have it in their room. They're learning some evil, horrible stuff on those computers, and guess what those kids do? When your kid goes to the school, those kids that are not being supervised by their parents in a right, correct way, those kids are going to teach your kids all these different sites, you know, porn sites, you know, different dating sites, you know, where it can actually bring people in on your kids' devices, you know, where it could be very dangerous, you know, because there's sites out there where you can meet people out in person. You got to protect your kids from that. And, you know, because those kids do talk, they do talk in school. They're like, yeah, you know, because their parents, they don't even do nothing with the computer to make sure that that child doesn't go in porn sites. You know, how old is the child? And now they're already on a porn site, and now later on they're addicted to porns. You know how many men are addicted to porn, where it ruins their relationships and all this stuff? I've had, I don't know how many men on this journey here coming to me and like, hey, what do I do with the addiction of porn? You know, because it is a big, huge problem. They know it is, you know. And so anyway, I love you. Really get your kids ready for the real world. Be real with them. Be the example that they really need. You know, discipline, have self-discipline for yourself, so then the kids say, oh wow, look at that, I'm amazed. My dad didn't go in there and just buy something every time, you know, or my mom, you know, is that, you know, talk to your kids, explain, like, you know, I saw that in the store, but you know what, the price that they had is too much money. I'm not going to pay that kind of money. You know, not that you can't afford it. It's just that you know that the price is high. Teach your kids this stuff. Teach them about, like, you know, educate them so then they know a good deal or not, or go online, you know, like when they get old enough, when they have money and they want to spend money because they're working, is you can teach them different things about what to watch out for. Have your kids, you got to have a good communication with your kids so they come to you and they say, you know what, I'm going to check with my dad. My dad knows his stuff. That's what you want. You want to be there for your kids. So keep that door of communications open to your sons and your daughters, because they need you. I love you so much, and I love the kids. This is what my YouTube channel is about. It's about be the change that you want to see in the world. I'm reaching out to the adults now and helping people, changing people's lives, so then the parents can do this kind of inner work on themselves and help their children. So, you know, we got to get this down to the parents and to their children, so then we can turn this around in this world as far as be the change that you want to see in the world. So it starts with me and it starts with you. We all can do this together. I love you so much. This is Starlight. You could give this video a thumbs up. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, you can leave a message down below, and you can also share this video with your family and friends. Please, if you got family out there that have technology and you're like, why is that child having a cell phone so young? I'm telling you, it can cause a lot of problems. It can cause health issues that you don't even know about, you know, where kids are addicted to their cell phones or their computers. You know, there's a lot of horrible stuff out there, but there's also a lot of great things out there. So I love you so much. This is Starlight. You can also, you check out my playlist, and you can follow me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that's Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. I love you all, and I love the kids. We need to be there for them. And it starts with you guys as far as being parents or grandpa, grandma. You know, you guys can step in and help them out behind the scenes. So anyway, I love you. Namaste. This is Starlight, love, light, and peace.